Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. What's up? My name is Caleb McCoy. Yes, that's a name. Proud son of Bill and Paulia McCoy, Mooney McCoy. So I'm gonna just talk to you guys for a little bit, and then we're gonna go back into worship, a little different kind of worship. I'm gonna do some of my original music. I guess it'd be best defined as Christian hip hop, but I like to call it oak music because it kind of like weaves in a bunch of stuff. It weaves in worship, it weaves in R&B, it weaves in hip hop, it weaves in contemporary, and so we're gonna engage together. Amen. All right, all right, all right. So I just want to talk a couple seconds about how there's power in our humility, power in our transparency, power in our vulnerability, power in our weakness, and power in our limitations. So I remember, I think it was like 14, 15 years ago, I was on the bus. I got a call from he's still a good friend, but he was my bestie at the time, BFFFFFF. And he called me. I was on the way to work, and he called me frantic, and he was like, yo, I went to wake my mother up this morning, and she was dead. You know, I pulled the covers off, and she was cold. And called out of work, went to go be with him and his family. I was young at the time and had a kind of young mindset of how to be with trauma, how to sit with trauma, how to just be around that space. And I remember just like how powerless. Now, of course, there's a despair, and there's a place where somebody's actually suffering, and then there's another powerless place when you're like with somebody that's suffering. You become instantly aware how powerless you can be, right? It's like it doesn't matter how much I couldn't lend him any money, or there wasn't really anything I could do right there, but besides sit there, right? And I remember how powerless I felt sitting there with his family. And at the time, I really hadn't explored and hadn't acknowledged Christ or even just healthy coping techniques. So that powerlessness made me want to be like, you know what? Let's just get as intoxicated as possible, because that was my control. Like I want to control this situation, right? I want to control this situation, and so I just can't deal with this right now. And so that was me being faced with my limits, being faced with being powerless, and then that was like my trying to be a friend. Let me control this situation. So fast forward. Some of the best times that we can be understanding of people is sitting there and not trying to be controlling. There's it's important to pause, to reflect, to repent, to retreat. And one thing that's been important to me is that God is always working, even when we're not. And so, like, I know we've heard, like, the world doesn't revolve around you, and I think most of us embrace that. But also, I've tried to embrace more and more as I kind of, like, be more places the world doesn't rely around me either. And so sometimes I think, especially as Christians, it's like, why wouldn't we run ourselves into the ground? We're partnering with the God of the universe. Why wouldn't we just constantly go nonstop? And I just got to remember all the time, is like, God is also, he's saving the world, but he's also saving myself from my own brokenness, from my own limitations, from my own limits. There was a memory expert. I think his name is Ed Cook, and he talked about how, like, I think he can memorize a deck of cards randomly shuffled in like 45 seconds. He can tell you the deck, and so he started this experiment, online experiment about memory, about how to best remember things. And a lot of the best practices were those that you would probably expect, right? Repeat, take a guess, think spacious, like think about the things you need to remember in a certain space, think about words that rhyme. I'm sure, like a lot of students, right, you want to remember stuff quickly, students and faculty. The fifth one, though, was take a break, pause, make space in your brain. Nice. Somebody said nice, yes. And so, like, even the way our muscles are built, right? If you work out the same muscles 7 days a week, it's not good for you, right? You have no time to recharge. And so, like, just the posture that, you know what, God's plan does not rely on me running myself into the ground. It doesn't rely on me controlling every outcome. And then letting my flow come from a place of that humility. I think, like, as Christians, it can be hard to sit with uncertainty. It can be hard to sit with something that's not resolved. And I think that's why you see a lot of discourse. You know, it's like negative emotions can kind of remind us that we're not God and that we can't control the outcome. And my tendency, like avoid, numb, crash and burn, deny. I think it's important to be able to, in healthy ways, acknowledge grief without thinking we instantly have to have the answer. I think, like, when we see something on, like, whether it be personally or the news, right, I acknowledge, and I think this is just going to be the reality because we're from different contexts. We may disagree on a root cause. We may disagree on the solution. But what we should be able to agree on is, man, people are hurting. Let me lament. Let me acknowledge. Let me say, let me acknowledge that, God, I don't want this for your people. Now, again, we may different things, but that should be something we should be comfortable with. That culture of lament, that culture of, God, I have limitations. This world has limitations. So, like, again, just a couple of weeks ago, I was faced with a similar situation where I had to sit with somebody that was suffering, right? And this is what I told you about was about, 14 years ago. This was just recently, right? I had to sit with somebody that was suffering. And he had a life-altering health event that changed his life, changed him and his wife's life. And I didn't know what to do. I was dreading it. I don't like sitting with people that are suffering. Now, I know that sounds selfish of me because they're suffering, so I'm sure they don't like the suffering, but I'm just being real with y'all. Is that all right? And I know some people may feel me, like, sometimes when your friend's going through something, you can't do anything about it. It just reminds you how powerless you are. So this time I really tried to seek the Lord. I was like, God, what do you want me to do? These people, they have support, they're well-resourced. I don't know what to do. And so in that, God spoke to me and was like, just show your vulnerability. Show your vulnerability. And so what I did is I wrote them a letter. And this letter didn't even really mention too much about their situation because I'm sure they've been consumed by it. It didn't try to offer them cliches or encouragement, which I think people need encouragement, but I know they were getting plenty of that. What I did was I wrote down all the times that I was vulnerable and they helped me. And all the times where I needed them and they helped me. And just offered that as a gratitude. I later got a text from the family that this really spoke to them. And so in that, I was like, wow, my vulnerability, the thing that this world would say this might be a weak thing, in that my vulnerability was a strength. And so I just encourage students, I encourage all of you guys, whether you may feel out of place, whether you're still exploring this faith and trying to figure it out, that your vulnerability, your limits are okay, and that's where we acknowledge God. I just want to quickly look at two examples in the Bible. Do we have the scriptures up? So the first one, right, we all know about Genesis, where the serpent, I'm just going to paraphrase, the serpent convinced Eve in the garden, convinced Adam and Eve in the garden. We don't really know if they were both in earshot, but they convinced that, you know what? You don't need limits. You're not made for limits. You can't trust God to handle your limitations. You need unlimited bandwidth. You need to be inexhaustible. And she bought the lie, right? They both bought the lie and they ate the fruit, right? In came sin. I want to show another example. And so Solomon, right? When God asked Solomon, like, what do you want? I'll read this one. So Solomon answered, you have shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. You have continued this great kindness to him and have given him a son to sit on the throne this very day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in the place of my father David, but I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have number. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people to distinguish right and wrong, for who is able to govern this great people of yours? And later said it pleased the Lord, right? Solomon, we know later he messed up, but right then he acknowledged, he was like, God, I'm limited, right? I need limits. I need you to tell me when to go and when to stay. I need to trust your wisdom. And that pleased the Lord. There was power in that. And then he saw increase from that vulnerability. And so the quick challenge I'll leave you as we get into some music, the quick challenge I'll leave you is we're faced, right? We're faced when we're faced with adversity, when we're faced with negative emotions, when we're faced with heartbreak, when we're faced with change, when we're faced with discouragement, depression. And I acknowledge all these things, it's not just going to be the vulnerability. God gives us some practical and spiritual tools that we need to follow through it. But when we're faced with these things, we can be like, you know what, God, I don't need limits. I need the answer now. I need the answer now. I need to pursue my own righteousness. I need to pursue my own wisdom. It's on me. It's all on me. Or we can be like Solomon and say, God, no matter how mature you are in the faith, you can say, God, I'm a little child. I need your wisdom. I need to be vulnerable. I need to ask people for help. And I know sometimes trust is a big issue when asking people for help, but I encourage anybody, be bold. If somebody betrays your trust, that's going to be on them, and that's going to be between them and God. But be bold with your vulnerability. Be bold with your humility. It's not going to be on you whether that person betrays you or not. And so we're faced with those two choices. And so the good news about that, right? The good news about that is that we're unique. Your flaws, your vulnerability, your limits are unique, and God knows that, right? God knows what you've been through. God knows what you've done. God knows your trauma. God knows your joys. He knows your pleasures. And he wants to meet you right there in that personal space. And so I'm going to invite y'all, if you will do so, to stand. And this next song is going to be called Nobody Like You, right? And I'll put my vulnerability out there like this morning. Let's just take a deep breath real quick. Let's let it out. I hope everybody brushed their teeth thoroughly. That could get bad. Everybody just stretch. Just reach up, just reach up, just reach up, just reach up. Acknowledge we're human. Take a deep breath again. And turn to somebody and say, there's nobody like you. Say somebody. There's nobody like you.
There's nobody like you.
Let's speed it up just a little bit, just a little bit. And say, and that's what makes you special. Hold up. And a little bit annoying. And a little bit annoying. Who said really annoying? So on the count of 3, I want you guys to say nobody like you. Are y'all ready? Y'all can shout back at me. Are y'all ready? In the back, are y'all ready? All 17 of y'all, I appreciate y'all. So on the count of 3, I want y'all to say nobody like you. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. Say nobody like you. Real simple, real simple, real simple. Sing it again one time. Say nobody like you. Y'all got it, y'all got it, y'all got it. Let me hear you. If you know you unique, say
nobody like you.
Hey. If you know you unique, nobody like you. All right. Chanel's gonna start us off with the chorus. See, I've been
so many places. Oh, I've searched far and wide. I've seen so many faces.
Ready? We're gonna say nobody like you. Ready?
Still I can't find
nobody like you. Hey, I think they got it over here. Let me hear you. Nobody like you. Hey, I think they got it over here. Let me hear you say nobody like you. All right. Let's do the second part of that chorus. I'm so glad you made it.
Oh, I'm so glad we made it. Been through these ups and downs. Oh, don't you ever leave.
'Cause why?
'Cause I can't find
nobody like you. Sing it again one time. Let me hear you.
Nobody like you.
All right. Let me rap to y'all real quick. I'm gonna do a little rapping. Look, packed chapel and we couldn't wait to turn up. Yeah. This sound like springtime and maple syrup. The jury's out and we gon' know we gotta face a verdict. So when I talk to you, I'm hoping that you take it personal. Yeah, I know nobody been through what you've been through. Sometimes you feel like nobody gets you, man, I get you. And I ain't fronting like I know your issues that you're into. I'm just hoping when I sing a song, the point is gonna grip you. Look, maybe this your first taste of this type of music. Maybe you try to hate sin, but you're addicted to it. Maybe you thankful for his grace, but you still abuse it. Either way, I'll lead the way. We about to get into it. So now I got acquainted and got a witness. Let me introduce you to my father's business. You only human and you deal with your flaws and messes. But he gon' love you like you've never had a spot or blemish. I'm saying people God is for you if you only knew it. You gon' wanna change your life, but he gon' love you through it. And everything you thought was wrong with you, he gonna use it. And that's the only reason I be making music. So I hit my knees and I say my grace, cause one of these days I'ma leave this place and I really believe I'ma see his face and I'ma say, thanks be to God, a love that's never failing. Since the day I met him, this is what I gotta tell him. I've been saying,
I've been so many places. Oh, I search far and wide.
Ready?
I've seen
Ready?
so many faces.
I said 1, 2, 3.
Find nobody like you.
Sing it again one time. Say,
Nobody like you.
if you know you unique, sing it out.
Nobody like you.
Nobody, nobody, nobody.
Nobody like you.
All right, bring it down. Let's make it a groove. I want y'all to repeat after Chanel. Repeat after Chanel.
Say nobody like you. Nobody like you. 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 Say nobody
Hey, y'all can go ahead and make some noise. Y'all can make some noise.
Say nobody like you. Nobody like you.
Say nobody like you. There is nobody like you, and God wants to honor that. He knows what you've been
Nobody
through.
like you.
He wants to meet you in that space. And we know that there is nobody like our God. And that's why we serve him. Last time, real quick. Say nobody like
you.
hit me, man, hit me. I said. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good? Yeah. Speed it a little bit. So none of us are perfect, right? We help each other press toward the mark, right? In those vulnerabilities, when somebody reveals their vulnerabilities to us, we challenge them, we encourage them, we be there for them, we sit with them. And so the thing is that all of us can do better. So this song's real simple, right? It just says we all can do better. And this is not like a thing of like, oh, you're never gonna be perfect. This is just, let's encourage each other. Let's walk with each other. So we go like this. 1, 2, 3. So we all can do better. Hey, that's all you gotta say one time. We all can do better. Yeah. If you know you ain't perfect, sing it out. Say we all can do better. Hey, if you know you ain't perfect, sing it out. Say we all can do better. Hit me. I said we all can do.
We all can do better.
Alright, cool, cause really, God, I'm just trying to be like you. But there's still some things I gotta fight through. So I'm trying to make the right move, so I'm asking, help me to help others despite the hating in them. Allow me to be more patient with them. And when my own effort doesn't measure, teach me to save and handle my money better. Put your word in my brain, that's real talk. And replace this dirty mind with pure thoughts. Help me to see women as you see them, and not like exhibits in a museum. Look, so Lord, teach me the way. I know that mean the old me needs to the, and I know you pursue when your sheep go. I believe and receive what you say that we all can do better. I thank God that I'm saved, but I'm still getting in my own way.
We all can do better.
There's so much that he's done for me, but he still ain't done with me.
We all can do better.
No matter what I'm into, I still got room to improve.
We all can do better.
Progress is the process. I wish y'all the best. Cut the beat out, let's clap. Look, so Lord, teach me the way. I know that mean the old me needs to the, and I know you pursue when your sheep go. I believe and receive. Hit me, band. I said, So Lord, teach me the way. I know that mean the old me needs to the, and I know you pursue when you. I believe and receive what you. I 1, 2, 3, we all can do better. I thank God that I'm saved, but I'm still getting in my own way. No matter what he's done for me, no, he still ain't done with me. Man, I still got room to improve. Progress is the process. I wish y'all the best. God bless. This next song is called Corin. I named this after a friend of mine who they donated to a campaign in one of my albums, and one of the rewards for donating was you get to put your name in a song, or I put your name in a song. And at the time, their sister was dying of cancer, breast cancer, and this was another opportunity to put my vulnerabilities in a song and gift it to the world through an album, but also gift it to that family on this specific song. And so, how many of y'all, you don't got to raise your hand, but just think, how many of y'all struggle with anxiety, struggle with control issues? I see y'all, even if you're not raising your hand, so, like, how many? And so this just says, today got enough trouble of its own. Not to say that we're not going to be concerned about today, because I think Jesus knows that, but he's trying to calibrate our value system. He cares for us. Just speed it up just a little bit. So the chorus goes like this. So I said, today got enough trouble of its own, and you worry about tomorrow, but it ain't gonna suit your soul. It's hard to admit you was never in control. I know. Oh, y'all got it. I see y'all getting it already. Let's do that one more time. Let's do it. We'll keep it low. We'll keep it low. I said, today's got enough trouble of its own, and you worry about tomorrow, but it. You was never in control. I know. Oh yeah, I like this. Keep pace. Let me start. Bring it down. I said sometimes life is hard, yeah. I can't always get what I want, nah. In my zone, and I'm praying up to God, but sometimes I think maybe I could do a better job, so I go and change. Do it on my own, got my mind made up. Put me on, let's do that again. I said I go and change up. Do it on my own. Got my mind made up. Put me on the throne. Yo, I'm tired and I'm stressed. I'm tried and I'm stressed. If it ain't money, then it's my health, man. I feel like I'm fighting against myself, man. This pressure is frying me. I fell off my job, I think they about to fire me. I know I got so much greatness inside of me. Instead, I'm dealing with all this anxiety. Staying up late and then I oversleep. I'm even not hungry, I overeat. Just wanna start over, control, alt, delete. Fighting for this control got me weak. I know today got enough trouble of its own, and you worry about tomorrow, but it ain't gonna suit your soul. I said it's hard to admit you was never in control. Let's do that one more time. Sing it out one time. I said now today got enough trouble of its own, and you worry about tomorrow, but it ain't gonna suit you. I said it's hard. You was never in control. Bring it way, way, way down. I just want to hear them sing it. Bring it way, 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 way down, way down. Let me hear y'all sing it. Today, gotta know. And you worry about tomorrow, but I said it's hard to admit you was. I know. One more time, I just said it's hard to admit you was. I know. So in acknowledging our mortality, our vulnerability, we all have blind spots. We all have ways that we've grown up with a nature and nurture that's harmful to ourselves and harmful to others. Ways that misrepresent Christ and we probably think we are. Oh, yeah, you can sit. I'm like, what's happening? And so this track, I'm gonna do a little shortened version of it, but this track is just acknowledging that all of us have blind spots. Even when we get passionate about an issue, we only know from our context. And so this song, some of it sounds a little bit social or political, but that's not the goal. The goal is to acknowledge that there's ways that we've been blinded. And that's why diversity is an important thing. It's not just a politically correct thing. We want to see as clearly as possible. And so this is just saying, welcome to my blind spots. I know it's hard to stay focused when post-traumatic stress symptoms surface any moment. Make it past 25 is what I was hoping. Hard to let it go like Frozen. I don't want to build a snowman. I'm from where selling drugs was a rite of passage. We pack house parties like forget a fire hazard. People out here dying and we just dying laughing, disregarding feelings even though that stuff kind of matters. See me, I'm just barely crawling out. Too many blunts, too many girls for me to talk about. Too many bad moves for me to write a song about. My heart was cold and stiff. I was hoping someone could thaw me out. It's crazy out here. You'll have to pardon us. Speeding down the highway to hell on a party bus. True, the evil in humanity's in all of us. Affects us to the core, but in my hood, it's more obvious. Beloved black man, who distorted your vision? Is it them images you see on television? Is it your homies either dead or in prison? Got you thinking God's kingdom is a white man's religion? My dear white man, who distorted your vision? I can understand why you get defensive, but it's not personal when I talk about racism. The sin of oppression left us all victims. Because listen, see, I believe the king came for us, killed by his own people, then rose again as the Lord. But all that spiritual talk is just sounding like some noise when there's no water in Flint and no jobs in Detroit. See, who is Jesus to my people up the street? McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, we gotta eat. There ain't no Whole Foods, but the liquor store is full, and my favorite song says it goes perfectly with some weed. See, how was I supposed to understand God's promise when they threw the Bible at us, but don't talk about our problems? Get rich or die trying, that was all my friends' mantra. Give a poor man money, but don't teach him economics. So when they tell him crime pays, it's like, why not? And after you make that first stack, it's like, why stop? I know it may lead to a cell or a pine box, but how's a blind person supposed to watch their own blind spots? My dear Democrat, who distorted your vision? I feel your vibe, I can see you protesting, but sometimes it don't match with the way that I see you living, so I wonder if it's real or if it's just for the election. My dear conservative, who distorted your vision? I feel your vibe, I know you claim Christian, but you never even mention the corrupt social system, so we don't need your theology, we just want you to listen. See, blind spots, everybody has them. Some of us don't even know the four walls that we've been trapped in. Don't want to know God, we just want to rely on a pastor. As a result, we confuse passion with compassion. Like I lament the tragedy of abortion and then lament that some parts a child should never be born in. I believe in God's word, but how are we going to enforce it when everybody's vision is distorted? Man, my dear brother, man, who distorted your vision? You don't even know how to ask for what you're missing. Poor examples of manhood set you up from the beginning. Now you're grown and it's affecting the way you treating our women. My dear sister say, who distorted your vision? Don't forget, you were made in God's image. The more we lose sight, the more we just keep sinning. It's too late to say that we was just kidding. Listen, so will you walk alongside me while I'm on this road and put me on to the things that I may not have known? Will you come alongside me while I'm in this life, or will you stand aside and judge when I don't seem to get it right? This world is dark and it gets colder than a winter's night, but when I share in someone else's story, then it gives me life. I want to bring a different light. I think about my homies I grew up with who never had a boss that's black or a friend that's white. Look, I just want to open our eyes. The more I look around, the more I realize we're blind. I'm out my comfort zone like how ignorant was I? Whoever said what you don't know can't hurt you, that's a lie. So this for anyone that's felt like the victim. For the men, women, and children trying to figure out the system. What we call foolishness, God may just call wisdom. So may he grant us 20/20 vision to our blind spots. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna do one last song. I just want to thank everybody, thank the faculty for having me out here, thank my father. I want to thank the band, all of y'all staying up late last night and practicing with me. If you could just flash my information up real quick. If you want to follow me on social, I'll be probably right over here with business cards if you want to get with me and just see how you can follow the music. I do have a couple of albums out. One is called The Oak Season 3. The other is called Rito, Ready in the Off Season. So you just look up Caleb McCoy on all digital platforms. And so I appreciate you guys welcoming me. You may not be able to relate to exactly what I've been through, and I may not be able to relate with you, but we invite each other into our stories. And that's the beauty of it. And so this next song is called Free. I talk about a little bit of my feeling trapped, but I know everybody can probably relate to feeling trapped at one point or another. And so, I'm probably just gonna have to do the third verse. I'm just gonna do the third verse. Let's go straight to the third verse. So look, I take a look at this foul sin I'm found in. Came up for air in a life that I almost drowned in. My heart is wicked. Who can know these deceitful ways? Anger and lust got me enslaved. I need to pray. Overcoming, I'm free when I'm being honest, but then I go and get triggered. It puts me back where I started. Know it's gonna take time, but man, I don't wanna be bothered. Going around in circles like, did I even make progress? Whether my favorite vice or my favorite feeling, these desires won't stop until they make a killing. This goes out to anybody trying to face addiction. Straight convicted, feeling trapped in the same condition. It ain't seem like a big deal every time we decided, until I realized this isn't just a minor problem. Man, who gon' save me from this body of death? Trapped in my own flesh, I just wanna be free. So it's just like that, we just sing it out together. Say, I just wanna be free. Sing it out one time, say, I just wanna be free. Sing, I just wanna be free. Let's bring it way down, bring it way down, bring it way down. So hear our cry, O Lord. Listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you. I call when my heart grows faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Let me dwell in your tent forever. Let me take refuge under the shelter of your wings. So once again, I thank you for letting me come out here. And I wrote this next part for anybody that just really wants to thirst after God. So with one voice, Chanel, can you start us off and sing this next part? It says, my soul.
My soul cries out for you when all my strength has left me.
Let's sing it all together. Say, my soul. Say,
my soul cries out for you.
Because I need to be set free.
Because I need to be set free.
Sing it out one time. Say, my soul.
My soul cries out for you when all my strength has left me.
If you ever felt trapped, say, my soul.
My soul cries out for you because I need to be set free.
One more time, all over this place. Say, my soul cries out.
My soul cries out for you
If you ever feel trapped, say my soul
cries out. 'Cause I need to be set free.
'Cause ready, 1, 2, 3. I just wanna be free. Sing it out one time, say I just wanna be free. If you've ever felt trapped, sing it out, say I just wanna be free. Sing it out, say I just wanna be. No music, just keep it tempo, Everybody singing, say we just wanna be free. I wanna hear y'all singing, say we just wanna be free. One more time, sing it out.
We just wanna be free.
Last time, everybody, we just wanna be free. Thank you.
You are dismissed.